Dude, so I have this Haitian kid working for me for the Green Solutionist, new moving company.
Yep, you started.
Locally here in Somerville and in Cambridge as well. And this kid is, so Haiti has some relation to France, right?
Right. You speak French.
You speak French?
Right.
He's no, I shoot the shit with him sometimes. I speak
Right.
French a little bit as well. And I told him, hey man, France won the World Cup recently.
Right.
You must have seen a piece of it at least, right?
I did.
You did. We all kind of followed the
Right.
World Cup a little bit. And he says, no, I didn't watch one single game. I'm like, what? How did you not watch at least a little part of it
Right.
at all? And he's like, no, man, I'm too busy studying. I'm too busy working. And I was like, wow, this kid, you're 20 years old and you already have this ingrained into you. I don't know what his background is, all this other stuff, but he wants to eventually become like Elon Musk. He says he likes to build rockets. He likes to build stuff. He wants to become the best chemical engineer that's out there. And I looked at him, I'm like, wow, man, this kid is 20 and he already has what I like to refer to as great work ethic. And it doesn't matter like where you came from and what you're about to do, or different social status, different upbringings. Work ethic at the end of the day to me is something inherent. Either you have it or you don't. And I always like to look at us. We have similar backgrounds, right?
Right.
But yet we're still so different. But I do see a lot of similar traits within work ethic, and I don't know. That struck me really deep, because I think having
Right.
good work ethic is something that you can take with you through all walks of life.
Right. Well, work ethic is interesting. I have a little different take on it. So I think work ethic is interesting because work ethic is a fuel, right? That's what it is. So it's like premium, unleaded, 93 fuel you put in a car.
Right.
But going to the destination, still you have to do that yourself. So the fuel alone is not enough, right? So here's the caveat, because a lot of people, especially now with like Instagram and social media, like Gary Vee and all these guys, everyone's like, man, I'm crushing it. I'm waking up at 4 in the morning. I'm waking up at 6 in the morning. I was like, but that's not enough. Waking up at 6 in the morning is not enough. Because what am I supposed to clap for you that woke up at 4 or 6 o'clock in the morning? It's about what you do, actually. And here's the thing, right? Work ethic, it's like, what are you working on, right? So Malcolm Gladwell and a lot of other people is like, man, you got to work 10,000 hours on a craft, and then you're going to become successful. What they don't say, though, and talk about is, what are you doing with those 10,000 hours, right?
Right.
I had an employee of mine who was like, man, I need a raise, and I was like, why? And he's like, I go to work, I'm there at work at 7 in the morning, I open up, door to work, and I'm the last one to leave. But I'm looking at his work output, and it just isn't that great. So the fact that you're going in at 6 in the morning isn't sufficient. It's what you do.
Right.
And here's the thing about work ethic. I know a lot of people who work super hard. I have construction sites across Boston. I got one of this guy shows up at 4:30 in the morning, leaves at 11. He works like super hard. Like, he's dedicated and works hard. But a lot of people wouldn't count him as a success. They're like, well, he's never going to achieve real true wealth.
Right.
He's never going to achieve true financial independence. So a lot of people say, well, maybe he's not working hard. And that's not true. He's working harder than I do, or most people that I see living around here.
Sure.
But so the goal, what I'm trying to say here is that if your goal is to produce a certain thing like wealth, whatever the end is, you need to have directed action. And this is the problem with most people. Their actions are not directed to what they actually want to achieve. So the work ethic is just the fuel.
Sure.
So just because you have work ethic doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. It's like, what are you doing with your time?
Right.
And a lot of people are struggling with that. It's like, I woke up at 4, but if your goal is to be a professional athlete and you wake up at 4 and play the guitar, then it sounds crazy. I'm not giving this example because it's so stupid. That's what most people are doing. It's like, what did you do? Going to the gym is not enough. I see people all the time that go in the gym out with their cell phones, right? And they're talking to other people and socializing. They're like, oh man, I went to the gym. I deserve like a smoothie, whatever. It's like, you could have stayed home and watched Netflix and like eaten food and went to shoot the shit. You wasted your time by going to the gym because you didn't do anything there. You didn't take effective action. So this is the one thing I always tell people is like, your work ethic is fine, but don't give yourself a pat on the back. Just you work hard. Make sure, like this guy, if he wants to be like Elon Musk, just working like 100 hours is not going to get him there.
Sure.
It's not. It's like, what is he doing with those 100 hours? And we need to have that conversation a little bit more in our society, because we're not. We're just talking hard work, and work ethic has become this blanket statement for like everything. If you work hard, you need to be celebrated. You're the greatest thing on like planet Earth since sliced bread.
Right.
It's just not true. It's not true.
So it's more of where like you have to direct that work towards something that will yield you the results that you actually want.
Yes.
Right. And I love the car thing, because you can fill up your Ferrari with all this, with good gas, but if you're just going in circles, you're not going to get anywhere else.
No.
So But what I love about work ethic though is that you can just strip it down to its bare minimum, and anybody can have it.
Right.
And it just that little example from last week just showed me that it doesn't matter if you've already achieved success or wealth or whatever.
Right.
Even if you're just starting off at the bottom, with now with me with the green solutions now as well. Where will I direct my efforts to in order to yield whatever result I want to get out of it? Lost respect for this person completely because I know that he does not have good work ethic, and that's why I know we have been clashing in the past. So
right, but so what makes good and bad work ethic, right? Because the thing that I always say is like you can have motivation, inspiration, but work ethic is like what keeps you going, right? What keeps you going consistently, like, and what is that going to be? A lot of people say it's like passion or like you got to love what you do or all that stuff. I think it's something different. I think it's when what you want to accomplish and what you're actually doing are in line. And if what you want and you're right, and it's not what you say what you want, it's what you actually want, and the actions you're taking are actually in line. Because if they're out of line, then you're going to say, well, it's out of my pay grade, right? So if my goal is specifically, I'll give you an example. So I'm really into health and fitness.
Sure.
So I got people always like, Freddie, help me get on a diet plan. So there's like one person, he's like, man, I want to get like super in shape. I want to have like veins everywhere. I want to like look like this bodybuilder. I was like, all right, man. And he's like, what should I do? He's like, I'll do it. So I give him this meal plan. I give him this workout thing to do, and he does it for and then after 10 weeks, like, man, I'm miserable. It's like I can't go out anywhere. I feel like I'm constantly in my home. I'm always working out. Like I always have to do cardio. Like I can't enjoy my life. And he said to me, he's like, Freddie, what's the point of like looking this good if I can't go out and show it? I was like, bro, you got this wrong. You told me that you want to be in shape. You didn't tell me that you want to go out and be a rock star. Those are two separate things, right?
Right.
And the same thing with people with like wealth, right? People say, well, I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm not happy. I'm spending 100 hours at work. Yes, I'm getting more money, but I can't enjoy it. So what's the point? And I was like, hold on. You said you wanted to be wealthy. You didn't tell me that you want to be a world traveler. Figure out what you want. If you want to be a world traveler, travel the world. If you want to go out and be good social skills and party, that's what you should do. Don't work out. Don't work out to do that. Don't say, I want to achieve monetary financial gain so you can travel the world. That is wrong, because what's going to happen is the work ethic is going to decline because you can't sustain that.
Right.
And I think the people that are so driven, just like, damn, I need to do it, their actions that they're taking are in close congruency with what they actually want to accomplish in their life. And when they're out of order, your work ethic is going to fall apart. You'll have inspiration, you'll be motivated, you can listen to Gary Vee or Eric Thomas and get like fired up, but you can't keep that shit going. I always say real work ethic is an IV drip of like literally just infusing your body constantly. It just feeds you constantly. Whenever you're out of like sodium, just constantly feeds you.
Right.
And some people don't have that IV drip. They get a little bit here and there. If you have an IV drip going, you can't stop. You don't want to sleep. Like you don't want to go out and just shoot the shit where you can work.
Right.
Like, everything for you is about that goal, and it's because you're in congruency. So I always tell people, it's like figure out exactly what you want and take those actions that actually get you there and figure out what those actions are in the first place. Don't say other shit. Don't say you want to make a lot of money when you just want to travel the world and be financially independent, because those are separate things.
Sure.
Financial independence I can achieve with $100,000 a year. I don't need to make $800,000 or $1 million. It's bullshit.
Right.
Why are you working like that then? You're going to be unhappy and you're not going to have the work ethic. You're going to literally have a breakdown. That's what breakdowns are about.
So it definitely needs to align with your values. So yes, everything has to be in line. And I was just a revelation just hit me just now was, can we consider work ethic just like the main, like, I guess, mothership, right? And there are many different pieces that go into work ethic.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, being proactive, for example, or being a good leader,
right?
Or being a good communicator, something we always talk about. So work ethic is kind of like the main starting point of it all. Okay, so you have good work ethic. You say you have good work ethic, but what other elements are you showing that fortify your your statement? So
work ethic is a resource like water, but the point is, I think we need to change the conversation of work ethic. Common sense, how a lot of like motivational speakers talk about, man, I'm always working, I'm grinding, wake up at 3. And it's like, I don't believe that bullshit, because like I've achieved success, and sometimes I do a lot of crazy shit, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just say a whole damn hole and I'm just thinking. On the resume, like, I'm a hard worker. I'm like, oh, what did you do? And like, oh, I wake up at 4 every day. And do what? Like, were you jacking off? I don't know what you're doing that for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do something. Like, I don't know if that's now a qualification on people's resumes. They're like when people talk to me on a cover letter, they'll send me, I wake up at 7, 8. I was like, okay, like, Like I'm
You're
an
a
early
morning
waker.
person, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Fine.
cool. But like, what if you're a morning person? What am I supposed to do?
Are you producing or what? Are you
Right,
just
right.
meditating?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's also good. But I'm starting to realize that too. Like, I feel like for me, I felt like the more hours I spent behind the computer, or the more hours I spent reading or something like this, that like I'm working, but maybe I'm not consuming it correctly, or maybe it's not registering. I'm not
Right.
processing.
Maybe you're full. Like maybe you have enough.
Yeah, maybe you're full.
I'm
full.
like I've read enough. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need something new. I'm not. I need to grind.
Sure.
I've changed that dramatically myself because I used to be like I need to spend like hours on something and I realized like there's no ROI. Like after a while, like that's all. Like I'm not getting more out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
more. So you can say I'm just for it to make
Definition
you
of
feel
crazy,
better.
right?
Yeah, you think
Do
you're
the same
doing
thing over and over,
exactly.
and not getting different results.
Yep.
You're totally right about that. So you.